filter out the requests, we filter out the prompts, and we trained our models in that way that it could not be used for malicious activities or malicious purposes, which is good enough. I mean, yeah, this is what we need. We don't want ChatGPT to attack us or to attack our data. We want our data, we want ourselves, we want our identity to be secure in future, right? So I asked this to the ChatGPT, and ChatGPT clearly denies the fact that they're not going to generate this phishing email for me. But what happened next? I simply go to the Wormgpt. I ask a similar question, and here you go. The Wormgpt crafted me a complete social engineering or a business email compromise attack in terms of a phishing email that I can send to my target, and I can, yeah. The next thing is, yeah, I have this email. I can generate. I can hide my malware behind it, or I can. So all of you know the techniques of social engineering. I'm not going to that perspective, but see, nowadays it's really easy to create a malware or to create a phishing email because we do not know the programming. 5 years back, if I want to create my own malware or my own ransomware, I would have known the languages. I mean, C Sharp, Java, Python, data structures. I have to go to different things to create a malware, but this is not the case here. If you know the prompt engineering, if you know the AI, you can create the malware within a minutes. I mean, this is becoming so easy, and this is the thing which is becoming a nightmare for us because we are the defenders of the organizations. I mean, we are saving, we are looking at the security of the organizations. So if it is that much easy to create a malware within few seconds, where we are heading to? And yeah, this is becoming more serious for all the security analysts in future. Let's look into another prompt. I asked ChatGPT to create a malware for me in Python, and ChatGPT said, I cannot provide assistance with creating or distributing malware. Yep. I asked again that write a basic malware in any language, not in Python, but again, because OpenAI, which creates ChatGPT, believes that they filter out the prompts, they filter out the requests so that no one can use ChatGPT for these malicious purposes. So in spite of being asked for the multiple times, ChatGPT haven't created any malware for me. But what happened next is really, really amazing. I asked the similar prompts to the Wormgpt, and I have this malware which I can use anytime to attack on any target. It could be the bank, it could be any medical sector, it could be any educational sectors or a government sector. So yeah, this is the thing that is going in trending in cybersecurity or in the landscape of cybersecurity nowadays. We have a lot of GPT tools which could be used and which were used a lot for this attacking perspective. So the idea behind this this slide is to just give you idea that we should prepare if we haven't prepared in past for these AI driven attacks. We should start preparing about it. It is the best time to do so. All right, we have a few more slides. This is just a picture of trends and insights about the AI-driven attacks and the deep fakes just of the revolution of AI generative tools. 83% of ethical hackers have experienced AI-driven attacks in 2024. I mean, we are in April. It's just the 4th month of the year. And 83% of ethical hackers already believe that they are experiencing AI-driven attacks. So this is at the end of the year, this would be a lot more because yeah, now everyone is using these AI tools to attack, to target the organizations, and phishing emails made by AI are getting open more than once made by people. The 60% of the audience or the individuals or the security researchers believes that phishing emails which were crafted through AI are getting more open, which I already discussed that, yep, just because the sophisticated of these phishing email attacks. Well, these are just some stats. You can already see that ransomware attacks were increased 70% in from 2023 to 2022 to 2023, and we are still in 2024. So the latest stats would be added here, but all the stats that I have included in this slide is just an idea to show you. I'm sorry, just to show you the what's going in cybersecurity and what are the trends and insights in this field. Well, just 4 slides behind, and then we are going to discuss the things. I hope the session was not boring. So I'm quickly wrapping up the things, and I'm waiting for your questions at the end of this presentation. So there are 2 recent attacks that happened, and what are the lessons that we learned so far by after observing those attacks is this is quite interesting stuff. I mean, you guys will enjoy while looking at how the target initiated and how it goes and how the incident response work after that particular thing. So yeah, the first attack was on Microsoft by a midnight laser attack, a Russian APT hacker group, and the second was on Change Healthcare based on USA. It's the biggest healthcare firm in the USA, and it was done by Black Cat. Yeah, if I'm not wrong. Yep. So yeah, let's deep dive into these attacks and see what lessons we learned from these attacks. If I talk about the Change Healthcare ransomware attack, before going deep dive into this, what happened here, but let me tell you that this attack is still going in the Change Healthcare ransomware, Change Healthcare sector. I was reading this news in last week, and there was another hacker group who took the responsibility that the data is still we still have the access to the data. So yeah, so this is still this Change Healthcare ransomware attack is not finished yet. This is so trending, this is so new that it is still ongoing on Change Healthcare, and I have written a few of the blogs related to this. If you want to go deep dive on what happened first, how they executed the initial access, how they targeted these things, I will share that those blogs with you. But yeah, in February 21, the initial report of the connectivity issue was happened. The incident response, which were looking, the security operations center, which were looking the infrastructure of Change Healthcare, they had some connectivity issues, and they start troubleshooting to the things what's happening. So this was still going on. In 7 days, you can see all how they initiated their incident response, and how they got news that they are hacked, their things are not working. So what happened next was really a good lesson to all of us. So the thing was, you all know about the ransomware attack. I will not go very deep dive into the ransomware attacks. This is just a timeline that when they discovered the first spot, how they initiated their incident response lifecycle. But this is not the thing which I want to discuss with you. The thing which I want to discuss with you is this ransomware attack is considered as the biggest cyber attack of 2024, or biggest betrayal of 2024. So if I talk about the history of ransomware attacks, what happened was the hacker group attack in your organization, they encrypt the data, and then they ask for the ransom. They ask for the ransom that pay this much amount to us, and then we will give you access. We will give you the keys to decrypt your data. So this is basically in a short introduction of ransomware attack. But what happened here is really shocking to all of us. So Black Cat, which is apparently a Russian hacker group, after encrypting all the files of that medical healthcare, where a lot of patient health data was there. So they have access to all of those patients' data, and this is one of the biggest healthcare sector in the USA. We all knew that. We all know that. So they asked $22 million ransom to the Change Healthcare, and now this is the question that should we pay this ransom to the attacker group, or we should not pay? This is the debate which is going on since since very start of these attacks. But what Change Healthcare did was they pay the ransom. I mean, they paid 22 million ransom to the Black Cat hacker group. And what happened next was really shocking. They they once they got those the ransom, I mean 22 million, the hacker group just ran away. I mean, without giving the files, without giving the decryption keys. They still have the access to their data, and they have that 22 million ransom with them. So I mean, this is really shocking. You do not have the access to your data. You pay the ransom, and the ransom is like not like a very limited amount. It is like 22 million ransom. So finally, Change Healthcare thought to involve law enforcement agencies, and what happened next was they released it publicly in the internet that we got targeted from this ransomware attack, and we even paid the money. And yeah, the hacker is not giving us the data, and the data is they're still asking us that they will send this data to the dark web, and they will release it there. So if I talk about winning situation here, one thing that is winning for the cybersecurity analyst is that uh, this hacker group, if they will target any organization in future, there would be no one going to pay the ransom to them, because now their reputation, they will face the reputation damage. Because yeah, I mean, who will gonna pay the ransom to the Black Cat in future? Because now everyone believes that if we still over we do not have the access to our data, but if we still pay the ransom, even we will not get the access to our data then, because this is their reputation now. So yeah, that change, this is the good decision made by the Change Healthcare, that they released it publicly. They involved the law and enforcement agencies that this happened with us, and now everyone knows that uh, we should not pay the ransom to the Black Cat or this particular ransomware group. But imagine at this stage, you're working as a CISO, or you're working as a cybersecurity manager in a security operations center, and there's a same situation with you. What are the steps that you are going to take? Are you going to pay the ransom? I'm not talking about the Black Cat ransomware group. It could be any attacker. It could be a Russian attacker group. It could be a Chinese. Uh, I mean, every country has now nation-sponsored hackers or APT groups. So what would you do? Are you going to pay the ransom? Or you will think you will involve the law enforcement agencies? What would be the steps that you would take? I would love to read your comments on in chats in after the session will be over. But yep, this is the question to all of you. Well, moving ahead, we have learned some of the lessons that if we ever face the ransomware attack, and if you're working as a cybersecurity professional in any organization, it is our core responsibility that we should have updated and secure backups. Because let's suppose tomorrow the bank for which I'm working got this ransomware attack, will get this ransomware attack, and they will ask to pay ransom. I mean, if I would have the access to my database, my backups, then why I am gonna pay the ransom to the attackers? So please make sure that your backup, your disaster recovery processes, your business continuity processes in the organization for which you are working is up and running. You should have a incident response readiness. You should have employees training and awareness sessions about the phishing campaigns, about the social engineering attacks, and yeah, normal attacks like malware, Trojan, and other cybersecurity attacks as well. Yeah, implementing endpoint protection or network segmentation or user access. I mean, this is the core. This is very basic and fundamental that we can implement to any organization to make our infrastructure very secure. Well, these were few of the lesson learning from the past incident. What happened next was really more shocking than the previous one. And this attack is also still going on Microsoft. So this is actually a funny story, because nowadays I'm mostly working on Microsoft tools. I mean, Microsoft is providing a lot of tools for security monitoring and for data monitoring, for data availability, for endpoint monitoring applications. But what if the vendor itself got hacked, and then yeah, I mean, these are the things that are recently happening. Even the vendors which are providing the security services are not safe from the attackers, from the hackers. So midnight visit attack, there's a timeline about the initial access, persistence, and exploitation. You guys can go through it, but in a nutshell, if I just describe the summary, uh, there was a password spray attack that was the type of brute force attack. It happened in the non-production test tenant account. So there was an employee which has this test account in the non-production environment. Normally, when we do testing, we have these three environments: for testing, for development, and then for production. So this attack is not happened in the production itself, but the brute force attack was happened in non-production test tenant account, and then they got this initial access after the password spray attack. Once they got initial access to that particular non-production test tenant account, they start persistence, and then they elevated the accesses. They exploit it by sending different emails on chats on Microsoft Teams to different employees of the Microsoft. And yeah, then there was few of the employees who clicked on those links, and yeah, they were completely persistent. They started lateral movement back in January 2024. And yeah, what happened next was really funny. So the hacker group, which is like Midnight Blizzard attack, got access to very critical SharePoint of the Microsoft, where Microsoft has this data of the customers. I mean, I am the one customer of the Microsoft, and if this attacker group has access to that SharePoint, which have a different critical files, different important files of the customers, there could be a personally identifiable information. It could be yeah, secrets. It could be different keys, subscription keys. So this hacker group will literally access that SharePoint data, and the data was like for the customers. It could be the different contracts, different agreements. So they still have access to that data. But when Microsoft started detected that this happened because of non-production test tenant account, when they initiated their incident response, they performed those steps. They deactivate that account. They sent this email to all their customers that we do not know that these hackers have access to which critical files, but yep, just rename your credentials, just change your passwords. So all these things. So I mean, still, I was reading about this incident yesterday, but there's no vulnerability that was highlighted, or there's no business loss that was highlighted by Microsoft yet. But still, they believe that this attacker group has still access to some of their critical files, and maybe we can face some serious trouble in future from this particular group. One of the most important lessons learned from this particular attack is, if we have user accounts in our test environment, in our development environment, or in our productive environment, we should always implement the regular access reviews, because yeah, this is where it comes the principle of least privilege, or separation of duties, or the segmentation, or the network segmentation. If we have these concepts implemented, we can implement zero trust model that believes that trust no one, and always assume that there's a risk. So we should always implement regular access reviews, and we should always go for the zero trust implementation that is recommended by NIST, or Microsoft Cybersecurity Reference Framework, and it is very popular nowadays. So this is the one lesson learned nowadays. And the second thing was, securing old systems is really important. I mean, if you have development environment where your developers do the testing things before implementing it in the production environment, just make sure that it is up to date. There is a 3I principle implemented. I mean, if anyone is doing some privilege activities, it should have proper access reviews implemented, so that we have proper non-repudiation implemented on that particular environment. So these are few lessons learned from these attacks. Moving ahead, we have this last slide, and I always say this in my sessions, that cybersecurity is not an individual responsibility. It is a shared responsibility. We should make sure we are vigilantly monitoring the infrastructure of the organization for which we are working for, because this is not something, this is not your job only. You're protecting your infrastructure. You are protecting the reputation of your country. You're protecting the assets of your organization. So this is not about the business loss only, but this is the reputation of your state, because now every organization, every country has these APT groups, these attacker groups, and they continuously target the other countries, not for financial terms, but to for the reputation also. So with this, thank you so much for your attention and for keep listening to me for like more than 30 minutes. I know it's hard, but yeah, you guys managed it. So thank you so much for listening to me for this particular session. And yeah, we have few minutes remaining, and I would love to respond if any one of you have some questions. Thank you so much once again.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
अभी तक I have learned deepfake detection and AI driven attack is a challenge for SOC team. My first question is different organizations have deployed EDR system, SIEM solution, IPS, IDS, and all vendor claims that we have predictive machine learning, behavioral analysis, etc. to detect any malicious activity. ये जो AI driven attacks है सर, ये और ये टूल्स जो है ये उसको डिटेक्ट नहीं कर सकेंगे. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन. सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज आई नो के तमाम जितने भी अटैकर्स होते हैं उनके टीटीपीस, टेक्निक, टैक्टिक्स एंड प्रोसीजर ये कॉमन होते हैं. तो ये जो एआई ड्रिवन अटैक्स होते हैं इनके टीटीपीस या जो अटैक का पैटर्न है ये डिफरेंट होता है जो ऑलरेडी अटैक्स आते रहते हैं. एंड द थर्ड क्वेश्चन है सर के एआई को इन चीज़ों के अलावा जो हमारी डिस्कशन हुई, नॉर्मल जो हमारी सिक्योरिटी ऑपरेशन सेंटर्स होते हैं उसमें मजीद किस तरह हम एआई को इम्प्लीमेंट या इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
वेल अवैस साहब, थैंक यू सो मच. आपने बहुत अच्छे क्वेश्चंस पूछे, एंड मैं अगर किसी क्वेश्चन को रिप्लाई करना भूल गया तो मुझे याद लाजमी करवा दीजिएगा. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, दिस इज राइट के जो सिक्योरिटी कंट्रोल्स हैं, ये लोग ही कह रहे हैं कि we can detect this anomaly or behavioral based attacks. This is right, and we're still doing that in security operations center. But आप मुझे ये बताएं कि लेट्स सपोज आप अपने कोलीग या आप अपने मैनेजर से एक डीप फेक वीडियो रिसीव करते हैं, ठीक है, एंड या फिर आपको एक मीटिंग इनवाइट आता है माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टीम्स में. जब भी आप ऑफिस जाते हैं और एक मीटिंग चल रही होती है, उस पर डिस्कशन हो रही होती है आपकी साइबर सिक्योरिटी के बारे में, ना अचानक उसी मीटिंग में आपको एक CISO आके बोलता है कि डिसेबल दिस पॉलिसी या डिसेबल दिस कॉन्फ़िगरेशन. तो आप उसको कैसे डिटेक्ट करेंगे? सो यहाँ पे ये है, क्योंकि आपको लगेगा कि ही इज द रियल पर्सन व्हिच इज इंस्ट्रक्टिंग मी टू एड्रेस दिस, टू डिसेबल दिस पर्टिकुलर कॉन्फ़िगरेशन और डिसेबल दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉलिसी, राइट? बट मुझे बताएं यहाँ पे आप उसको डिटेक्ट कैसे करेंगे कि द पर्सन हु इज इंस्ट्रक्टिंग मी इज द रियल पर्सन और इज जस्ट अ डीप फेक? सो देयर इज नो टूल येट. तो बिहेवियर एनालिसिस लॉग्स की बेस पे होता है या नेट फ्लोज की बेस पे होता है, बट यहाँ पर हमारे पास ऐसा कोई टेक्नोलॉजी इस तरह की नहीं है जिसको हम ये कह सकें कि इस तरह के अटैक्स को रोक सके. बट देयर इज ओनली वन थिंग जो इस चीज़ को जिसको इम्प्लीमेंट करने के बाद हम बच सकते हैं, दैट इज अवेयरनेस. सो जितनी अवेयरनेस ज़्यादा होगी इतना हम इन चीज़ों को टैकल करने में हमें आसानी होगी. बट इन फ्यूचर वी कैन इवन सी बहुत सारा काम हो रहा है इस तरह की चीज़ों को डिटेक्ट करने के लिए भी. सो देयर इज नो सिक्योरिटी टूल येट, बट मे बी इन फ्यूचर वी विल सी these things. The second question that you asked is about the TTPs, about the MITRE attack, common tactics and techniques. So MITRE attack is a completely database, and let me tell you this one news that last week MITRE attack itself got compromised. So yeah, this is the news that is also on trending. So MITRE attack is a complete database. So whenever there would be an AI driven attack, और जो भी टेक्निक्स यूज होते हैं उसका वहाँ पे डेटाबेस पे चीज़ें आ जाती हैं. सो इवेंचुअली वो सेम ही रहेंगी they will start with a reconnaissance, they will start with the initial access. So the MITRE attack or the kill chain framework would be the same, but yeah, it would be more tough to detect or to address those things in future. So yeah, I hope I'm quite clear with my answers.
सर ये वाली बात तो हो गई कि एआई ड्रिवन अटैक्स और डीप फेक को डिटेक्ट करना इज चैलेंजिंग। अब यह है कि जिस तरह हमारे पाकिस्तान में सॉक्स वगैरह चल रहे होते हैं नॉर्मल रूटीन के, जिसमें लॉग्स और अलर्ट्स जनरेट होते हैं, तो क्या हम इसमें एआई इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं? मतलब कोई केस या कोई इस तरह के केस स्टडी वगैरह या कोई सिनेरियो?
First of all, are you using the generative AI in your infrastructure? Pehla question to ye hai, if you are using, how you have implemented it in your organization? Because here in Netherlands, we are not allowed in the organizations, and we restricted the use of Chatgpt in the organizations. No one can use Chatgpt within the infrastructure. So if you already got, if your employees in the bank or the company for which you're working, if they're already using the Chatgpt or any generative tool within the organization, without being proper policies pushed to monitor those things, then you're already on the risk, because the ChatGPT is based on open, it's an open API running behind. So you already increase the attack surface of your organization. So first of all, just make these policies within your organization to restrict the use of GPT tools within your organization. What you can do is, what we have done is, we have this separate environment for the testing purposes. There is no single asset that is used in the production, which we are using in the test tenant. So you can always create this test environment and you can use GPT tools, but there should be a policy to restrict the usage of GPT in the production environment, because it itself is a dangerous and malicious thing. So yeah, I hope I'm clear with your answer.
Yes sir, thank you very much. Session was very informative sir, and बस 10 मिनट के लिए बैठने का मूड था, लेकिन
well, please stay in touch, and thank you so much to this Cyber Connect organization. I mean, they are becoming the bridge between us, and I will try to have more sessions with them. These guys are really doing a fantastic job.
अच्छा जुनैद भाई, निम्रा का सवाल इज आस्किंग कि वो किस तरीके से साइबर सिक्योरिटी में अपना करियर स्टार्ट कर सकती हैं। वो अभी करंटली जो वो एनरोल है बीएस साइबर सिक्योरिटी प्रोग्राम में।
Well, the first thing is just keep yourself aligned with these organizations like Cyber Connect. I'm not a brand ambassador of Cyber Connect, but I know these guys. These are really doing a fantastic job. They are organizing the events. So, and they still have these sessions in which they invite these speakers who started their career in cybersecurity. What are the learning paths, and what are the things that we can look at the very beginning of your career? So just align yourself with these societies. They will help you a lot. The second thing is just to make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date, and you are following different security vendors, because they post a lot of security related courses. I'm going to I have prepared, but I forgot to upload it in the LinkedIn. So I'm going to share the list of these complete courses where you can start your career in cybersecurity, and all of them are completely free. So yeah, I made this collection by like in last 7 days. So yeah, I'll send my LinkedIn profile here, and I am going to upload tomorrow, maybe, or within this week. So then you will get a lot of information from that particular post. So there are a lot of free courses where you can start your career in cybersecurity.
Assalamu alaikum, Junaid bhai. Shoaib, I have a question with Junaid Mumtaz.
Just a minute. तैयबा और सादिया का जो क्वेश्चन है वो भी रोड मैप के हवाले से ही है, तो जुनैद भाई ने रोड मैप के हवाले से बता दिया है कि वो पोस्ट कर देंगे चीज़ें, तो इंशाल्लाह आप वहाँ से चीज़ें देख सकेंगे। आप पूछ सकते हैं सवाल।
Junaid bhai, Shahrukh Bukhari here. How are you, man?
I'm good, Shahrukh. Is one of my old colleague, and thank you so much for joining this session.
अच्छा, एक सिंपल क्वेश्चन ये था बच्चों की क्लियरिटी के लिए, जैसे आपने एक पिक्चर लगाई हुई थी शुरू में जीपीटी में को पायलट की, तो क्या हमें को पायलट भी यूज नहीं करना चाहिए, या वो एक अच्छा जीपीटी टूल है सॉक के हवाले से ऑन माइक्रोसॉफ्ट प्रोडक्ट, जैसे हम रिसेंटली आप और मैं तो काम ही सेंटिनल पे कर रहे हैं?
if you're using Copilot, I'll make sure that the system limited for which you're working, that they're going to वो आपकी job वहाँ से खत्म कर दें. So make sure you're not using this tool. Well, to be honest, security Copilot. So there are different security Copilot. If you're talking about the security Copilot for security, so there's security Copilot and there is the Copilot for security. Microsoft is doing a lot of these changes with the name. So there's if there's one security GPT available in the Edge browser, right? If you're talking about that, you can use that. That we are also using in our that is for safe, and it really depends how you implemented that. So what is the network segmentation besides that GPT? How you're using that? What monitoring tool you have to monitor if you're not creating any malicious request API call or this coding stuff. So yeah, you always have this monitoring enabled on top of that security Copilot. But there is a recent security Copilot tool that was introduced by Microsoft, and yeah, I do this POC for Microsoft in recent past, but that is like really expensive. I mean, if you just have one SKUs for 1 hour, you have to pay around $4 per hour for only one SKU. So organizations are still wondering to implement with the this security Copilot. But yeah, it really depends. In nutshell, it really depends how you implemented Copilot, how you implemented monitoring on top of Copilot, which you are using. You can still use Copilot. I am using on my organization because we have implemented it in a secure environment.
काफी हद तक आपने अच्छा एक्सप्लेन किया. यही मैं कहने लगा था कि अभी भी कुछ ऐसे टूल्स जो अलाउ हैं एनवायरनमेंट में इतने महंगे, जो मेरे ख्याल से हम आम लोगों की सैलरी से बहुत ज्यादा है. मंथली ये कोई हमें 3000 और अक्रॉस $2800 चार्ज कर रहे हैं. मैंने भी POC करी थी XYZ क्लाइंट्स के लिए, तो उनका यही कंसर्न था कि फिर हम इससे अच्छा ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज पे ही रहें, क्योंकि ज्यादातर वो भी आपके इन्वेस्टिगेट जिस वे में कर रहा होता है वो नॉर्मल स्टेप्स आपको गाइड कर रहा होता है जो ऑलरेडी आपके मिटायर या और भी जो फ्रेमवर्क्स हैं उन पे अवेलेबल.
थैंक यू सो मच.
हाँ सर, आए उनको सर. अस्सलाम वालेकुम सर. सर इसमें बेसिकली फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन ये जो आपने रैंसम की बात की, फर्स्ट जो हमारा अब US बेस्ड कंपनी हेल्थ केयर सेंटर में इतनी ऑर्गेनाइज, वेल ऑर्गेनाइज, वहां पे आई थिंक के बड़े बड़े फायरवॉल्स भी होंगी, सिक्योरिटी लेयर्स भी लगी होंगी. देन इसके बावजूद भी अगर एक ब्रीच हो रही है, इट्स मीन के वो अवेयरनेस की वजह से ब्रीच हुआ है या इनसाइडर अटैक हो सकता है. इसकी आप प्रेडिक्शन क्या हो सकती है जब इतनी वेल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है और उसके पास इतना बजट भी है जो कि 22 मिलियंस दे सकती हैं, रैंसम पे कर सकती हैं? क्या वो अपनी सिक्योरिटी को इन्हांस करने के लिए कोई इस तरह की फायरवॉल्स या इस तरह के सॉक्स एनालिटिक्स या उस तरह की टीम उनके पास नहीं होगी? इसके बावजूद ये अटैक होने का जो मकसद है वो मेरे अंदाजे से अवेयरनेस ना होने की वजह से हुआ है. आई एम राइट या आई एम रॉन्ग?
मुनीर साहब, सबसे पहले तो मैं आपका दोस्त हूँ, सो मुझे आप लोग जब भी मुखातिब करें सर बोल के ना मुखातिब करें, मुझे शर्म सी महसूस हो रही है. सो या आप भाई बोल सकते हैं. बाकी वो वाला भाई नहीं, कराची वाला, बट आप लोगों का भाई हूँ. वेल, कमिंग बैक टू द पॉइंट, से अगर हम एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में सिक्योरिटी टूल्स इंप्लीमेंट, हर सिक्योरिटी ऑपरेशन सेंटर में वी हैव फायरवॉल्स, वी हैव ADR, वी हैव एंटीवायरस, वी हैव अ लॉट ऑफ टूल्स, राइट? देन हम सिक्योरिटी एनालिस्ट को क्यों रखते हैं? अगर सिक्योरिटी टूल्स डिटेक्ट करके प्रिवेंट कर सकें अटैक्स को, तो हमें तो सिक्योरिटी एनालिस्ट को रखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. क्यों हम इतना बजट ज़ाया कर रहे हैं, या फिर कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इतना ज़्यादा पे क्यों कर रही है सिक्योरिटी एनालिस्ट, फिर L1 एनालिस्ट, L2 एनालिस्ट, टीम लीड, सिक्योरिटी मैनेजर, CISO, फिर तो वो सारे लोगों को ही कह दें कि आप घर जाएं, राइट? सो ह्यूमन इज द की. टूल्स नो मैटर आप कितने ही एक्सपेंसिव फायरवॉल्स लगा दें, आप सारी चीज़ें डबल फायरवॉल्स अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को बहुत सारी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस आप इंप्लीमेंट कर लें, बट अगर आपके पास अवेयरनेस नहीं है, विच आपने खुद ही आंसर दे दिया अपने क्वेश्चन का, यू ऑलवेज नीड टू क्रिएट अ लॉट ऑफ अवेयरनेस अबाउट एवरीथिंग दैट इज गोइंग. बट हमारे यहाँ एक चीज़ गलत जो हो रही होती है, जो मेरी ऑब्जर्वेशन है, वो ये है कि हम अवेयरनेस तो क्रिएट करते हैं, लेकिन हम टेक्निकल बंदों के लिए अवेयरनेस क्रिएट कर रहे होते हैं. वी डू नॉट हैव अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रेनिंग्स फॉर नॉन टेक्निकल पर्सन्स. बट आई पर्सनली ऑब्जर्व्ड हियर इन यूरोप, they they create a lot of mandatory trainings for non-technical persons because वो लोग ज्यादा उन पर अटैक हो सकते हैं कि जो नॉन टेक्निकल हैं। लेकिन मुझे कोई लिंक आएगा, मैं पहले उसको चेक करूंगा, फिर उस पर क्लिक करूंगा। बट एक नॉर्मल बंदा है जिसको कुछ भी नहीं पता साइबर अटैक्स के बारे में, वो तो लिंक पे क्लिक कर देगा एंड आफ्टर दैट कुछ भी हो सकता है। सो ह्यूमन इज द फर्स्ट की, उसको आपने सिक्योर करना है। आपने वंस उसकी को सिक्योर किया थ्रू ट्रेनिंग्स, थ्रू अवेयरनेस कैंपेन्स, थ्रू मैंडेटरी ट्रेनिंग्स, देन यू आर क्वाइट सिक्योर।
मीर आप सवाल कर सकते हैं।
सर मेरा प्रश्न ये था कि जिस तरह आपने शुरू में बताया कि हमारे पास सोशल मीडिया है, हम उन पर इमेजेस और पिक्चर्स वगैरह अपलोड करते हैं, तो डीप फेक एआई के थ्रू जो है हमारा वो सेंसर जो डेटा है वो गलत इस्तेमाल कर देता है। तो जिस तरह आजकल ज़माना फेसबुक, व्हाट्सएप का या इंस्टाग्राम का, तो वहाँ पे हम अपनी इमेजेस अपलोड करते हैं, तो क्या कोई ऐसा तरीका है कि हम अपनी इमेजेस भी अपलोड करते रहें और हम उन चीज़ों के गलत इस्तेमाल होने से भी बचें?
आपकी आवाज बहुत कट रही थी, बट मुझे जो ये सुनने में क्वेश्चन मिला आपको वो ये कि if you can still upload your pictures on social media, is that the question that you want to ask?
सर अब आपको आवाज़ आ रही है क्लियर?
yes आपको सुन पा रहा हूँ।
मैं ये कहता कि जिस तरह हम सोशल मीडिया पे अपनी इमेजेस वगैरह अपलोड करते हैं, तो कोई ऐसा तरीका है कि हम उनको अपलोड भी करते रहें लेकिन उनका गलत इस्तेमाल भी ना हो, कोई उनको गलत तरीके से इस्तेमाल ना करे?
आप अपडेट कर सकते हैं कुछ सिक्योरिटी चीजें हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल मैं वो स्लाइड डालना भूल गया। फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर अपलोडिंग लाइक द पिक्चर्स लाइक दिस, you are giving your thumbs to anyone who is using the social media, and now we have these strong AI algorithms, right? So they can extract your fingerprints and they can bypass the things. But if you are uploading these pictures where आप इतने विजिबल नहीं हैं, उस तरह से आपने वो तस्वीरें अपडेट की हुई हैं, सो दिस इज वेरी ट्रेंडिंग थ्रेड। हम इसके बारे में अभी इतना ज्यादा डिस्कस भी नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि ये रिसेंटली हुआ है। इस मंथ पे इसके केसेस हमें विक्टिम्स देखने को मिले हैं। सो यू कैन ऑलवेज upload those pictures where your thumbprints are not visible most of the time. but फिर आपका नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आएगा, या फेशियल एक्सप्रेशंस को भी डीप फेक किया जा रहा है, आपकी आईज को भी वो किया जा रहा है। बट ऑब्वियसली अभी हम जो बायोमेट्रिक वेरिफिकेशन कर रहे होते हैं, हम अपना थंब ही यूज कर रहे होते हैं। सो यू आर क्वाइट सेफ। तो आप अपने थम्स को, अपने फिंगर्स को जो है, इनको पहले सेव करें, राइट? एंड मेक श्योर कि ऐसी कोई भी पिक्चर है, और ऑब्वियसली उसको आप सिक्योर कर सकते हैं, उसको डिलीट कर सकते हैं। सो या फ्यूचर में भी आप खुद तो इस चीज़ को इम्प्लीमेंट करें, लेकिन अपनी फैमिली को अपना बचाएं। अपने ऑब्वियसली मैंने बहुत सारे ऐसे केसेस देखे हैं जिसपे दिस थिंग्स हैपन अ लॉट इन आवर सोसाइटी, और बात बहुत आगे तक चली जाती है, डिप्रेशन, सुसाइड, इस तरफ चली जाती है। सो यू नीड टू क्लियर to create this awareness within your family as well, because कोई भी हमारी बहन, हमारा भाई अगर टारगेट होता है, उसकी डीप फेक वीडियो आती है, तो हमें उस चीज को देखने के बजाय उस पर एक अवेयरनेस कैंपेन स्प्रेड करनी है। एट द एंड हमारा ये भी गोल होना चाहिए, हमारी जॉब का भी ये गोल होना चाहिए। सो सेव योरसेल्फ एंड सेव योर फैमिली प्लीज।
जो चैलेंज फेस कर रहे हैं वो है, नाम सुना होगा अकीरा रैंसमवेयर। आजकल VPNs मोस्ट ऑफ पे अटैक आया है। ओके, जितने भी यहाँ बच्चे हैं जो नए इस फील्ड में आ रहे हैं या इंट्रोड्यूस होना चाह रहे हैं, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम हम इंटरव्यू में भी क्वेश्चंस करते हैं, और ये काफी अभी ट्रेंडिंग है अटैक एक पाकिस्तान में। तो आप लोग जुनैद मुमताज के उन 2 अटैक्स के अलावा इनको भी स्टडी करें कि कैसे अटैकर्स इसमें एक्सेस ले रहे हैं VPN का, और किस तरह वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के और डेटा को कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर रहे हैं।
I just charged 1000 USD for this particular session, so yeah, I'm earning at my own side. तो आप लोग भी सिक्योरिटी अवेयरनेस ट्रेनिंग इस तरह से दें और अर्न भी करें साथ साथ। सिक्योरिटी तो करनी है, लेकिन अपना फ्यूचर भी ठीक करना है फाइनेंशियली, राइट? Well, this was just a joke. So, well, thank you so much once again, and for this feedback which I'm getting, and I will share all these details with you on in this particular channel as well, and on my LinkedIn profile as well. It was lovely talking with all of you, and thanks to Cyber Connect once again. I hope to see you soon. Yeah. So, yeah, Allah Hafiz. अपना बहुत सारा ख्याल रखें
भाई। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, और तमाम लोगों का भी अटेंडेंस का शुक्रिया जिन्होंने पूरे सेशन में हमारे साथ रहे। अल्लाह हाफिज।